Good morning. Let me get it up here. Okay, a couple things. Quiz on Friday. A lot of you are kind of asking about what did you do wrong? How do you know which problems you missed? There were a couple of you that sent me it in a format that I could make comments on the actual quiz itself. Again, I hate to say it this way, but you know who you are. But these guys that are not watching my videos, I can tell. Especially when I asked, like, what does the slope mean? I had some really strange answers there. You're at the point where I'm probably lecturing to wrong people, but if you're not watching the videos, you're probably going to start losing out on some of the very key important concepts of how ninth grade works and how do I write my answers, because we focus a lot on word problems and interpreting things. So what I'm going to do today, and I told a lot of you already, is I'm going to post a video today so that you can kind of watch it and see what your mistakes were. And that way we can start preparing for the test that's coming up, I believe, next week. Again, it's very important that you start putting some effort into how your answers are recorded. I get it. You want the math to be done for the day, but there's just no getting around spending some time watching the videos, doing the homework, practicing so that you can do well on the quizzes. All right. So I'll post that video about noon today. There's one person that was sick over the weekend and I'm waiting on them to take the quiz, and they should be done today. And then I'll post that around noon, I hope. All right. For sure by 3 o'clock today it'll be posted. So watch the video, see what you did wrong so that, again, we can do well on the test that's coming up. Okay. All right. So here's our warm-ups. Today's going to be a pretty quick one. It's just combining everything that we've learned all into one. All right. So do the warm-up, pause the video, and then come back when you got them done. All right. Welcome back. I want to hide this little guy down here I just seen. Here's my answers. And there's my work, as you can see. I'm hoping that now we're getting these correct. We do this for the next 3 years of your high school career as we isolate the variable by doing reverse operations. All right. So today what we're going to do is, I got some graph paper on here just so we can kind of check our answers, kind of a deal. But basically they just want you to write an equation given 2 points. And so there's 3 steps to this. And so the first thing is we got to find the slope. They said, first of all, here's the question up here. We want it to go through these 2 points. I'm not sure why this guy does this. Let me turn that off there. We wanted to go through the points 1, 6, 3, negative 4. So first thing we have to do is we have to use that slope formula. That, again, by now we should be really good at this. So I got minus 4 minus 6 over 3 minus 1. That's a negative 10 over 2. And that would be a negative 5. Negative divided by positive is a negative. So my slope is a negative 5. Now, they want us to write it in the y equals mx plus b form, so I already know half of my equation. Y equals minus 5x. What I still need is this part right here. I need to know what the b is, the y-intercept. Now, again, a lot of you need to start putting some ownership to the meaning, what y-intercept means and what the b means. Y-intercept means where's my line going to cross the y-axis. Put some ownership to that, because we use that term often for the next couple months. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this. We need our b, so it doesn't matter which coordinate you use, but let's put one of those coordinates into our equation. This is my x value and this is my y value. So when I write my y equals mx plus b, and you don't have to keep writing this, I hope you just keep saying it in your head, we're going to put that 6 where the y is. We're going to put that 1 where the x is. And we already know our b is a minus 5. Our slope is a minus 5. We need the b. So now let's solve it. That's a minus 5 plus b. I would not do mental math at this point in your life. Show step by step your math work. And so I'm getting b equals 11. So now we can come down here and we know our b, it's plus 11. So that's our y-intercept. Now let's go over and see if that holds true on our graph. I want to plot the original points, 1, 6, right there. And 3, negative 4 would be like right there. According to my equation, 11 is my y-intercept. And if I go down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, I fall right on that dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. I'm betting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. So now I can draw my line. This was the other thing that was kind of interesting on the quiz that made me know that some of you are not watching my video. Is your lines, number one, were not drawn with a ruler on a lot of you. I saw some weird lines that I'll show you here in a second. Let me get my line. There you go. That's pretty good. I've seen people drawing lines like this, little dashed lines. I don't know. You're in high school. You need to use a ruler. We need to be accurate. Let's see if I can get back. And professional. Okay. All right. So you try it now. And I have the answer on the next page. So give it a shot. Find a slope. Plug one of the coordinates in. It doesn't matter which one you plug in. If you do your math correctly, you'll come up with the same answer for your B. All right, let's see how you did. I got a slope of 1/3, and then I plugged that 1/3 in, and my B became a 1. I plotted my 2 points here, and then I plotted my y-intercept, and sure enough, it fell right on the line that it was supposed to. All right. Sometimes, I want to go back up here. This is an example, the same one that's on the next one, but sometimes they'll do half the work for us. They'll say, hey, the slope is 1/3. So they'll say the slope is 1/3, and we wanted to go through this coordinate right main equation. Well, if that's the case, they already did half the work for us. They already found the 1/3, so we can just skip right down to step 2. So if in your math problems they said, here's the slope, here's a point, right main equation that goes through that point, they just shortened our work up for us. Okay. All right. So here's our word problem for the day. Crickets. Now, some of you on the quiz, it said, how do you know if this is a linear equation? Well, first of all, you all said how the x's are different. Well, that tells me if it's a function. But if it says if it's a linear function, we learn that we look at the x's. We're going up by 10, going up by 10, going up by 10. So there's definitely a pattern in my x's. And I'm going up by 40, going up by 40. And if it does it 3 times, then I know it's a linear equation. That's how I test if it's linear. And the way I would answer that question is my x's are going up by 10s and my y's are going up by 40s. That's how you would interpret, how do I know it's a linear equation? Again, watching the videos, putting some ownership to that. Okay? A lot of you said it's a function because for every x there's one and only one domain. Well, that's true. Or for one and only one range. Well, that's true, but that tells us it's a function. We want to know if it was a linear function, meaning a straight line. All right, let's pick 2 coordinates on this one. Pick any coordinates that you want. This is my x, this is my y. So my coordinate is going to be 40, 0, 50, 40. Oops, I don't want a negative 40. There's 2 coordinates I'm going to use. Now, before I go to finding out everything, I want to put my labels over here. This is my temperature in Fahrenheit. This is my chirps. Y-axis is my chirps per minute. Okay, so now let's go ahead and solve this. I want to find my slope first. I want to write an equation that no matter what the temperature is, I can fill it in. So we got 40 minus 0 over 50 minus 40. That's 40 over 10. So that equals 4. So we were asking on the quiz, what does the slope mean? And I had some very creative answers. We learned, even though they're not asking this question, we learned that this is my y, this is my x. That's called the unit rate. We got it down to 1. So I look up here, that's my degrees in temperature. For every degree in temperature, my chirps go up by 4. This is my chirps per minute. So the way I would say what the slope is, for every degree of temperature you go up, your chirps increase 4 per minute. Or you could say 4 chirps per minute goes, I would say start off with the degrees of Fahrenheit sounds better. 4 chirps per minute for every 1 degree increase of temperature in Fahrenheit would be a way to say that. Okay? Yeah, you would have to write all that in words. Okay? That's how you would describe what that slope means, 4 over 1. Okay? You have to put the labels with it. Okay, enough lecturing. Let's pick this coordinate. Let's go. 0 in for my y. My slope I said was 4. Put 40 in for my x plus b. Well, 4 times 4 is 160 plus b equals 0. Got to get that 60 on the other side. So my b equals negative 160. So now my equation says y equals 4x minus 160. Now, I just gave a graph over here, and we're going to have to do some customizing because we have such big numbers. I think if we do everything by 10s instead of 1s, I think we'll be okay. So let's just plot a couple points. 0, 40. Or 40, 0, sorry. 40, 0 would be my x-intercept. And they said 40, 50. So that'd be like right about there. I want to do one more. 70, 120. I'm counting by tens. Now, I just want to see if my x-intercept would work. According to my y-intercept, sorry, not x-intercept, y-intercept, it'd be 160. Well, I can't go down that way. That'd be 130, 40, 50, 60. So it'd be down here somewhere. I'm going to do it in orange. Like right about there. And if I look, it will fall in that line right there. Now, let's talk about our graph. We can have a negative degrees in temperature. So on our x-axis, we can graph it this way. And this is, again, part of 9th grade and learning. But I can't have a negative number of chirps. So technically, even though I have the equation here, technically, if I was to graph this thing, and I want to take that graph off because that's not correct. I mean, it's the right slope and everything. But technically, my line needs to start right here at 0 chirps and head forever in this direction up here. All right. So again, this is the 9th grade part. Can I graph and interpret my data correctly that would make sense? You cannot have a negative number of chirps. How would that sound? Okay. So those are the small details that I think the kids that aren't watching the video will make mistakes on like quizzes and tests. That's the proper graph for that particular math problem. Okay. Now we could pick any temperature above this. We could pick, 150. Well, that'd be hot. 100 degrees temperature. And we could plug that in. Okay. All right. So your people online looks a little bit different than our homework because it's an online form where they have all the possible answers in there. You really have to pay attention and write things in the right format. If they say they want it in the y equals mx plus b form, they want it in the y equals mx plus b form. So write your answer in that way. If they ask you for the slope, they want a m equals, and then your slope reduced. Okay? All right. Have a good day and look for that video. I hope you watch it to make corrections on your quizzes so that you don't make the same mistakes on the test that's coming up. Okay? We only have 2 more tests and the final. We want to start preparing for that final. Alrighty, have a good day.